Hi, this is Molly Stout, and as our last assignment for major assignment 2, we had to create a video reflection based on a couple questions that pertains to the project that we created and all of our work, including our field notes and activities that we did along with this. I'll start with the questions that I have. What did you learn about the community that you did not know before this project? And before I answer that, Barrington is just a small knit community. It is mostly involving working class citizens, and it has just 2 schools in Barrington: our elementary school and then our middle school. That's the public school system in Barrington, and it's very small. I think that we have a great community in where we work. I really do enjoy working there. So some things that I have learned: the taxes are high. Mostly families and friends that grow up in Barrington usually stay there, or at least stay pretty local. There's a high school that is in Haddon Heights, and our students in Barrington go to that high school once if they choose to go to a public high school at that age, that's where they would go. And I learned that the high school has students from surrounding towns, not just Barrington, and that could cause tension at times. That used to be a problem in the past, and I think it's a little bit better now. There's apartments that are overcrowded with family members. There is some crime, but it is a mostly safe community. There are times where my past students, or my other colleagues' students in the past, or current students, have families that have dysfunctional relationships or problems in the family, and that can cause our students to come into school and have very specific needs that need to address those family issues. Our community celebrates diversity. There's a lot of parks where children can play, and there's also recreational sports that students can partake in. It is a good housing market in Barrington. I also have known before this, though, that there's a lot of police officers, firefighters, EMT workers that are close in our community and like to be very present in our schools as safety precautions. So that is something that I did know beforehand. But those were mostly the details that I did not know beforehand that kind of helped me have an idea of what the community is like. What curricular actions could you take on your inquiry question? My inquiry question is, how can we conserve more energy in school? And then I also elaborated on that by saying, how can the excessive use of energy in our schools within the district negatively affect the community and our students? Well, for this question and this problem, I would like my school to start the initiative for our students to complete PBLs. I really thought that was interesting, learning about PBLs, and we definitely do not do that within our community, within our school. So I would like my students to, for a project-based learning assignment, would be to create motion-censored light switches for classrooms and rooms within our buildings that would shut off the lights if they did not sense there was a lot of motion going on in the classroom. So if students and teachers left the room, the lights would go off, and that would conserve energy within our building. Students would work together in teams during STEAM activities and during STEAM time. Students could also write persuasive essays to the Board of Education, asking for them to either purchase the materials that they need to make these motion-censored light switches for the district, or later on down the road they could buy the motion-censored light switches. So the students would have to convince them in their essays that by doing this it will help Barrington, the district, and then within the community conserve more energy. So that's my curricular actions, having them writing and then also creating it during STEAM activities. The next question is, who else would you involve in this work? I would involve my grade level partners. The teachers could also have their students create persuasive letters to the Board of Education. I would have middle school science teachers be on board. They have a lot of knowledge and expertise on the ideas of energy and conserving energy, and creating something like that to help with this problem. I would also have our administrators on this project. I think that they need to support us and be on board, and it would be great for them to see the process of this project being made. I think if they see all the hard work that the students are putting into it, the planning, the prepping, and in the final product, I think that they would more likely be able to support what we're trying to do. The next question is, what are the potential benefits? Some benefits that I would think are that students are collaborating together, they're working together, they're talking and sharing their ideas, listening to each other. So that goes back to the speaking and listening critical areas that students don't always really have. Students don't always get a chance to voice their ideas or listen to each other. So I think that that would be a great benefit for them. Students are learning from their mistakes. They are going to encounter failure at least once, maybe even 2 times, and they would learn from the mistake that they made and make sure that they don't make that mistake again. So that is one benefit. Students would celebrate their success with one another and take ownership of their work. This would be a student-led project, so they would take care of all of the planning. They would take initiative and drive to solve the potential problem. And another benefit would be if the Board of Education approves the initiative for the motion sensor light switches. Potential challenges include if the Board of Education does not approve of the students solving this problem and getting the motion sensor light switches. Students could not get over their failure and would end up giving up on trying to solve the problem. So that's one challenge that they might encounter. Another challenge would be administrators do not support the project, which then if they do not support us, we might not feel motivated enough to follow through with our solution to our problem. There's not enough funding. It would take too much time away from our instruction. And the last challenge that I see is that not enough students want to participate in this project. So that is my answer to these questions. Before I end my video, I just wanted to say that this was a really great project to work on. I felt like I knew Barrington and where I worked, but I did learn a lot about my community and even my school, some things that I would not have learned if I did not do this project. And it kind of helped me have a different perspective on the community, so that was good. And I also really was able to relate the community and the curriculum based on all of the activities that we did, the community events, the interview, the field notes. I was able to really see how important it is to connect community members to our curriculum so that students can really see the impact of what it is that they do every day and how it relates to the real world. So I did really enjoy it, and I look forward to watching others' videos as well. Thank you.